Praise be to you, Yahuwah my Elohim. Praise be to your Son, Yahushua my Messiah. I come at your feet in the name of your Son. Thank you for the knowledge you pour unto me, and thank you for breaking out the shackle that was bound on my face. Yahuwah, you are the only true living God. Indeed. Thank you for your Yahusha, whom you truly love. You are Elohim, the Elohim of the Yahudim.
Shalom, family. Welcome back to The Remnant Awakens. I'm your brother, Pierre Ligi. If you're new here, I just want to say you're in the right place. This is where we dig deep, we question what we've been taught, and we get back to the roots, the real roots of our faith and our identity. So, today, we're going to talk about something that, honestly, I think a lot of us have just accepted without ever really checking it out for ourselves. And that's this whole idea that you're a spirit living in a body, or that you have a soul. But is that what the scriptures actually say? Or is that just another one of those things we picked up from somewhere else? Let's get into it. All right. So let's start at the beginning. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. I know. We always go back to Genesis, but that's where the foundation is, right? It says, "And Yahuwah Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." Did you catch that? It doesn't say man was given a soul or that a soul was put inside a body. It says man became a living soul. The Hebrew word there is nefesh. So, you're not a spirit trapped in a body, you are a living soul. That's your identity. That's what you are. Not just something you have, but what you are. I mean, that's a big difference, right? And, this isn't just some little detail. This is the foundation for how we understand life, death, resurrection, all of it. If we get this wrong, a lot of other things start to get twisted too. So, let's keep going. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Where did this whole spirit, soul, body breakdown even come from? Because honestly, if you look at the scriptures, you don't see that kind of language. That's not how Moses talked, or David, or even Yahusha. This idea actually comes from Greek philosophy. Guys like Plato and Aristotle. They were obsessed with dividing everything up. The physical, the spiritual, the soul, the body, all these categories. And when the faith started spreading into the Greek world, a lot of those ideas got mixed in. That's how we ended up with this spirit inside a body thing. It's not Hebrew thinking. It's not biblical thinking. It's Greek. And honestly, it's led to a lot of confusion. I mean, we talked about this before, right? Like in the episode where we exposed how Rome and Greece twisted the faith, changed the names, changed the calendar, all of that. This is just another example. So, let's break it down biblically. Okay. So let's define these words the way the scriptures do, not the way philosophers do. First, ruach. That's the Hebrew word for spirit. It literally means breath, wind, or the force of life. It's not a ghost floating around. It's the breath that Yahweh gives. Then you have nefesh, that's soul. But in Hebrew, nefesh just means a living being, a person, a creature that breathes. It's not some invisible thing inside you. It's you. And then basar, that's flesh, your physical body. So when you put it all together, you're a living soul, made of flesh, animated by the breath of Yahuwah. That's it. No complicated layers, no hidden spirits trapped inside. Just a living soul, made in the image of Elohim. And, when you look at how the scriptures talk about death, it makes sense. When the breath leaves, the soul dies. There's no immortal soul floating off somewhere. That's not what the Bible teaches. That's what the Greeks taught. And honestly, it's a big deal because it changes how we see resurrection, judgment, all of that. Now, let's talk about Yahusha. Because honestly, if this spirit, soul, body thing was so important, you'd think he would have taught it, right? But he didn't. When Yahusha raised the dead, he didn't call their spirit back into a separate soul or anything like that. He just said, Talitha kum, little girl, get up. Or with Lazarus, he just called him out of the tomb. The breath of life returned, and the person, the living soul, got up. Simple. No complicated Greek categories. Just the power of Yahuwah restoring life to a living soul. And, even when he talked about the resurrection, he didn't say, your soul will float up to heaven. He talked about the dead rising, about the whole person being restored. That's the hope. That's what we're waiting for. Not some disembodied existence, but real life, real resurrection, just like he showed us. So, why does this matter, family? I mean, it might sound like just a technical thing, but it's actually huge. If you believe you're just a spirit trapped in a body, you start to think this life doesn't matter, or that your body isn't important, or that you can just escape to heaven and leave it all behind. But that's not what the scriptures teach. Yahuwah made you a living soul, with a purpose, with a calling, right here on earth. Your body matters. Your life matters. And the resurrection is about restoring all of that, not escaping it. And honestly, this is why so many people get confused about death, about the afterlife, about what happens when you die. If you get this wrong, you end up believing all kinds of things that just aren't in the Word. That's why we gotta go back to the foundation, back to what Yahuwah actually said, not what the philosophers said. I know that was a lot, but I hope it challenged you to think, to dig deeper, and to question what you've been taught. Remember, you are a living soul made in the image of Yahuwah, with a purpose and a destiny. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Family, the truth is clear. You are not a spirit trapped in a body. You are a living soul, formed by the hands of Yahuwah, made in his image, with breath from his spirit, walking this earth in flesh, with purpose and calling. Don't let Christianity's false identity doctrine confuse who you are. You are not from Greek philosophy. You are from the soil of the earth, chosen by Yahuwah. You are called to live righteously, await the resurrection, and walk in covenant with the Most High. Alright, family, that's all for today. I'm Pierre Lidji, your brother from the tribe of Yehuda, and this is The Remnant Awakens. If this message stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video so it reaches more people. Subscribe if you're awakening to truth. Comment below what stood out to you most. And if you know someone still sleeping, share this episode with them. Until next time, Shalom. See you all on the next episode.
Praise be to you, Yahuwah my Elohim. Praise be to your Son, Yahushua my Messiah. I come at your feet in the name of your Son. Thank you for the knowledge you pour onto me, and thank you for breaking out the shackle that was bound on my face. Yahuwah, you are the only true living God. Thank you for your Yahushua, whom you truly love. You are Elohim, the Elohim.